Hello everybody, welcome to a new video, new channel that I am starting. This is going to be called RoboMania. Now this channel is going to be specifically meant to just have content surrounding the robotic combat video game type of category. So with this first video, I am going to be jumping into a game called Robot Rumble 2.0. Now, on my other channel, which will be linked into my channel, there is another one called Game and Soy. I have done a bunch of content on there with robotic combat video games, and I made a series called RoboMania that was just a big tournament with the video game Robot Arena 2. Now, what I'm going to be doing is completely transferring over this series into this channel, this robotic channel, and I am going to be only focusing on robotic combat tournaments and videos related into this channel. So let's get started and jump into our very first thing that we're going to be doing on this exact channel, and we are going to be building a robot on the video game Robot Rumble 2 that will eventually be added into a later series, which will be a giant tournament. Alright, here we are in the robot lab. We gotta create a new custom combat robot, and then there's a big button that says let's build. So, I have been messing around a little bit with this game, and I actually love this game a lot. It gives you a very large ability to just customize any little components or part of your robot that you want to customize. So, I'm not the best, obviously, at this game, but I aim to at least deliver some decent content, and that's pretty much what I'm going for. Alright, so we're here, and now we get to build a new chassis shape. So right here is where we're going to be building the actual shape of the robots, the bottom portion of it at least right now, and we need to start building something. So I'm going to be building a vertical spinner. I am going to be eventually building every single type of robot that you can make, and I just wanted to start with the vertical spinner just because it's probably the most popular in today's era of robotic combats. So let's just jump into it, and I'm going to come up with a somewhat interesting design, or at least try to. Okay, there we go. This is a good little design right here. I'm going to bring this part in just a wee bit. I don't want it to be a ginormous robot, but I want it to pack a bunch of power into it. I want it to pack a punch, you know what I'm saying? So my plan right now is to have a 2-wheel drive, maybe a 4-wheel drive, I'm not exactly sure yet, and have a big double spinner in this little rectangle right here. So we'll figure that out eventually, and have some wedgelets on each side. And I think that'll be a pretty powerful robot. So let's add the next layer, which makes it super tall. We can make it a freaking tall boy over here, but I don't know if I really want to do that per se. So in this layer, layer 2, we can actually adjust the bend and the curvature of the robot, which I am absolutely going to be doing. You know me. Well, you guys don't know me because this is a brand new video. Haha! Bring the back in just a little bit just to have a little wedge. Small little wedge right there. And I don't see myself really adding anything else to this robot. Yeah, I think that's a good little shape right there. So let's hit the check mark. And we got a collision generation, which was not in Robot Arena 2, which I really love about this game. Pretty much sets the collision of this robot. And there's a bunch of different options that you can select between, but you just try to get the perfect shape for your robot. Alright, I'm gonna stick with option 1 right here. It's not anything crazy. You kind of get an interesting shape, but it includes this part as a hitbox, which I'm fine with because I'm going to be adding a weapon there anyways. So first thing we're going to be doing here is we are going to add the spinners, the weapons, because that's the best part. You got to do that first, right? You got to add the weapons first. There's a bunch of different motors you can choose. I might just... Pancake is huge. Pancake is ginormous, but not as big as this one. Now what we can do is, since it is going to be a double spinner, so we're going to want to hit the snap right here off, and then hit the mirror mode. And now we can have full control over both objects. Now I'm going to just hit snap again for now so I can get a perfect even flip right here so it's on the side, and then take snap off, and now we can bring it up and put it exactly where we want this thing to go. And I am going to add a belt transmission right here, so I'm just going to put that down. It's connected to both of them because I still have the mirror mode on. And from here we're going to move this out and up, and just like that we got kind of a frame for where we're going to be using our little weapon that we have going on. Now obviously right here there's a little collision, so I'm gonna have to keep raising this until it's not in. There we go, that's gonna be fine. Perfect. Alright, now I actually might move these out. No, I want these on the inside actually, just because if I have them on the outside the belts are going to be more at risk to actually get hit by another robot. But if they're on the inside, the robot has to hit directly on top instead of from the sides. So let's go over here and add a weapon right there. Go to spinning, and right here we got our little blades that we can add. Now there's a 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, and 4 point, and then a bar. Oh god, the bar is actually crazy looking. I mean, we can make it happen, but I don't know if I want to. We can add now that's a powerhouse right there. Now we can also customize our shapes, but this is a this isn't a tutorial, but this is going to be more of a simple explanation, if you will, of how to create a robot. If anybody has any questions, like I said, I'm not the best, but I know a few things. So I say this is our first video, so let's go for the 1 pointer. That will make sense. And actually, let's turn snap on, because we don't want it to be spinning clockwise. We want it to be spinning counterclockwise. And for that to be happening, we need this little wedge right here, down where my green little circle is, to be facing the actual other way. So what we're going to do is completely flip this around, just so we can get more of an uppercut rather than an overhand. So this will be spinning counterclockwise still, and this little tooth will catch on the robot that it will be trying to hit. Now obviously we have a big part right here that if there's an axe robot that just throws down with a swinging axe and it just hits it right here, this can completely destroy our weapon. So we're gonna have to figure that out in the future, but for now this is looking good. So let's actually go over to the materials over here and select the material of our robot. For now I'll just hit steel, select for all sides, go to the tints, and what color are we gonna make this robot? Oh no, I really actually didn't think this far. I always go for orange, so I'm gonna actually stay away from orange today. And I always go for red and black, so I'm staying away from those colors too. So what we're gonna do today is a nice forest green. I feel like that will be really nice. So let's just set all sides for now. We'll come back to this later, just when we're doing detailed work for our robot. So from here, let's get this robot to be able to move around. We need to add wheels to this bad boy. Now I'm just going to use, let's see here. We don't want a crazy big motor to have it run, but we actually might need that. If it's going to be 2-wheel drive, I feel like we should do that, but if we're doing 4-wheel drive, then that's a different story. So let's do 2 small ones and have a 4-wheel drive. Okay, that's fine to me. And then let's actually duplicate this. Actually, not yet, sorry, I apologize. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Let's add a wheel to this. And I usually go for like a rim wheel, put a crazy customized thing on it, but this is on the inside of the robot, so you actually won't be able to see it. So I'm just going to go for a classic, maybe 3-inch wheel, if that's... I want snap-on. Ah! Oh, it's so crazy. So 3-inch should actually be perfect. Let's take snap off again and bring this up just a little bit so the wheel is coming just a little bit underneath. You can kind of see a little clip right there. I think that's going to be perfect. So what I like to do is then select the motor if you want to copy it and hit this little button right here. This will copy everything over, and then you can just move it. Now I can hit X right here to see if anything's clipping through. I'm not seeing anything. Everything underneath looks fine to me besides the wheels. Perfect. Alright guys. There we go. We got our four-wheel drive in our robot. Now, because we have four-wheel drive, that does mean we have less space to work with when we want to add batteries and all this other stuff. So we are going to have to actually try to find a perfect way to implement everything. But for now, this will be perfect for our robot. So I'm going into the test right now to see if anything weird is happening to my robot. I like to do this halfway through a video or halfway through a creation just to see if it's falling over to one side, to see if actually I misplaced a wheel in a certain spot. So it seems pretty even right now, so we should be good to move on with our next part, which is adding an RC receiver. Now, you only need one RC receiver in a robot unless it has like 4 million different things. I think it's 9+ different motors or options to do. So I'm just going to put this underneath the first motor just so it won't be in danger of anything. And now, since we have 6 different motors, so we got the 2 back here, the 2 front ones, and then the 2 weapons, we are going to need 3 different ESCs. An ESC pretty much breaks down the motor and categorizes it into its own different thing to the RC receiver. So let's add 2 dual ones right now. We're actually going to end up adding 3 in the future, so let's just place this down. And we're not going to have a lot of space for this, so we're going to try to figure this out to see if we can do anything. Now, we can always just clip it in right here, but I find that kind of cheesy. I'm not a big fan of clipping anything, just because, I don't know, it's just a personal thing. Obviously, people who do it have no problem doing it, but I'm going to have to add, because I don't have a lot of space, I'm going to have to add a smaller ESC, which requires less amps, which could be a problem, but you know, you get what you pay for, and I paid for a small robot in this. So, we got this down, and I'm going to try to get it as close as possible without clipping. Alright, perfect. So here we go. We got that set up, and now I do need another one, and I'm going to try to fit a big boy in, just because this is going to be the one that will be plugged into the power motors of our weapons. So I'm going to try to find a good spot for it. And obviously it's clipping through right there, so that's not a good start. Alright, so I figured out how to get it down. All I had to do was move over one of the back 2 wheel motors and wheels so I can spread them out further so I can fit it in the back right here. A big thing about this game is actually having more weight on one side. Let's just say you put everything on this side that isn't wheels and motors and everything, like you put all the batteries right here. A big part of this game is that the left side of that robot then will have too much weight on it, and therefore the right side is going to be more light, so the robot will be driving differently because you have more weight on one side. So we got to kind of make sure everything is symmetrical with each other. At the same time, we got to make sure it's efficient. So the last thing we have to do is go to power and find ourselves some batteries. Now, this is going to be a problem. I kind of have an idea, but let's kind of mess around with it. The robot's symmetrical still, and we got batteries in. We do need a few more batteries, so I'm just going to probably add 2 16s, maybe? They're still long. That's not what I want, no. 2 8s equals 1 16, and I wanted to hook up the 2 24s to the main ones. Oh, we're running out of space in our robot, guys. We came into our first problem. Do you know, guys, I'm taking back what I said. I'm going to have this clip. That's the clip I'm going to have, all right? Stay off my back. So we got our robot completely stacked out with everything that we want inside of it. Nothing's clipping outside of the robot, which is a major thing. You got to make sure that doesn't happen. I don't know how the damage is going to work in this game, because currently the damage is actually turned off. So what that means is when a robot hits another robot, it won't have any damage, just physics. But once they add the damage to this game, it's going to make a lot of things different, and I don't really know what to expect, so we're just going to keep this robot as is, and I think this is going to be fine. So let's go into the control panel. We got a bunch of things to work with here, and this is probably the most confusing part of the game. If you first start and you're trying to create a robot and you have no idea what any of this means, don't feel bad, because it's hard to understand it when this is your first time playing a game like this. So right here I got my 160 amp. Obviously 160 is better than just a 60. So what we're going to be doing is hooking up our two motors that are the spinning boys. Let me try to find them. It's the scooters. So we got the two scooters down here. So let's just move everything out of the way. And let's just hook this up first. I feel like this will be the easiest. So we hook up this motor, and there we go. So now we have this connected to that first ESC, which is the big blue one in our robot. And we're going to hook this channel up here and this channel up here. It doesn't matter what you got into this, what you plug in. So I can plug this in a 4, this in a 8. It doesn't matter. As long as you know where it is right here. So channel 1 is going to be a single toggle, and so is number 2, because we hooked up both of them here. So from here, we need to, oh gosh, it's so messy now. We need to hook up the batteries to this spinner thing. So let's just put that one there, and I almost want to hook up the battery 2 here. Get the 224 volts. So let's go test it real quick. So there we go. It's spinning. It's doing its thing. As you can see, it's kind of a small robot, but whatever. Smaller package is sometimes better, if you know what I'm saying. Guys, we got to plug in the left wheel drive and the right wheel drive. So right here, I'm clicked on this amp flow, and this is going to be the left side of the robot, so I'm putting this in the left. Right here. And then we got to click through to find the other left one, which is right here. Boom, boom. So we're going to plug this into channel 3, plug it into channel 4, just to make it easy on us. Left, left. Perfect. All right. So then we go to this, do the same thing on the other side with our other 2 remaining motors. So we got the 2 rights. Plug it in right here. And right here. Hit double right motor. And then all we need to do is just hook up the remaining batteries to it. And we should be good to drive around. Alright, so first thing I noticed when I'm driving around is my robot is completely backwards from what I want it to be doing. So when I press W to go forward, it drives backwards. When I press S to go backwards, it drives forward. When I want it to rotate right, it rotates left. And when I want it to rotate left, it rotates right. So all we have to do, it's a very simple thing. We go into right here, and we click on each one that's a driver, and we hit reverse direction. And make sure all of them are selected, because if you don't, it's going to make the robot drive really weird. So we're going to do it for this one as well. And it should, because these are both mirrored to this side, these are automatically clicked as well. So now the robot drives how I want it to be driving, and the spinner goes up, and everything looks fine to me. So let's go outside real quick, test it on a few objects. Let's see how this hits. It doesn't hit it hard, but it's doing its thing. There we go. That's something I want to see. I want to see stuff flying. Now what we do also have to worry about, if we hit telemetry, I believe, we got to see if anything's failing on us. So these are where all the motors are, their temperatures, all the stats that they have. Because it looks like one of these motors is, I don't know if it's just how I'm looking at it right now. These are these two right here, you want them to be similar. They're both sitting at a pretty decent temperature, so we should be good. So let's go back and focus on the details now of our robot. I usually wait to rename the robot or name it completely whenever I'm finished, but I'll do that right now, and I gotta think of a name, so give me a second. Alright, name my robot Pack-a-Punch, just because I said that earlier in the episode, and that's all I can think of. So, what we gotta do now is try to get everything efficient for our robot. So all the electronics are done, so we don't need to be looking inside of a robot anymore, so I just press X so we can view the outside of the robot. And I want to make sure this spinning disc gets every little inch of everything that I can get. So if I press 3 on my keyboard, I can actually hit the scale of the robot and try to make it as big as possible without it hitting the ground. So obviously if I make it huge and go to the test and hit this, actually this isn't big enough. Hold on. If I make it huge, like huge, it can't even spin. What we want to do is make this as big as possible, but also not have a chance to hit the ground. So this actually seems like good. It has decent reach right here. And let's see if we can hit anything. Yeah, there we go. We're causing some damage. Now something just smoked. Let's see what this is. We just destroyed our weapons. Now, why did we do that? And that's what we got to figure out. Let's go back actually and test, hit telemetry, and hit the 100 crate. Spin this up to full speed. And let's see when it gets up all the way. It seems like this is natural resting. And then hit. Alright, the first hit, they both survived. Temperature is pretty high. Temperature gets up to 100 when I hit it. Only when I make contact. So let's just say I hold it right here, and that will destroy both of them. Okay, so that means the motors aren't good enough, obviously. So what we're going to have to do is, actually, unfortunately, we're going to have to get rid of these motors and try to squeeze in something else. This one looked like it was a decent option just because of its size. I'm looking for the size. Size does matter sometimes, gentlemen. Alright, I think I got it. It took me a long time to figure out, but I was just using a motor with a ESC that just weren't compatible with each other, especially with a double spinner. So I don't know if I'm more powerful now, but I definitely fixed it. Let me show you what I did right here. So I have the 2 batteries right here still, and I actually added a very similar, it's called an amp flow spinner here instead of the 2 bigger ones that I had actually. I moved the batteries out here, more here, and then I added these ones. These are solenoids, I believe is what they're called. These little black things with the 2 nuts on top. And these are apparently way more efficient with an amp flow. So, with that being said, let's try to figure out if we did this right. So what we're going to do is we're going to test again, open this back up, bring in the 100-pound crate, or kilogram crate, and we're just going to hold it. We're just going to hold it there. Oh, it's holding. It's holding, guys. It's holding. We did it. All right. So this game, like I said, is huge with it when it comes to compatibility. So let's actually test out outside, I believe is what it is. And let's just try to hit one of these. My test is when I hit one of these for some reason, see if it goes flying. Now you got to hit it right on the sweet spot sometimes. So it won't work sometimes, but let's see if we can make a nice hit happen. Yay! One more hit. Ugh. Oh. Alright. That works for me. Alright, so let's go back all the way from where we were once and go back to editing this bad boy right here. This robot should be set to go. Now is my favorite part of creating a robot, is where we add detail to it, because you don't want this robot to just look like this. Obviously, we are at 54 kilograms right now. The max weight is 110 if you want to be just a heavyweight. So, with that being said, we're going to bulk this robot up, add some character to it, and we're going to color it. So, actually, I'm going to get rid of this white color, and let's add a different color. What color would look best with green? I don't really know any good colors. Maybe a nice silver? Or a nice gray, maybe? Gray could always look good. What goes well with green? Wow, there's a lot of colors. A nice green and yellow robot? I don't know. Green and red, we can do a Christmas theme. That actually can work. I don't know. Oh! Well, we found our first flaw of a robot after completing everything. I'm going to keep this red. I think green and red is a pretty sick combo, actually, when it comes to this. Alright, so what we got to do now is add some wedges, some protection, some armor, all of that fun stuff. And then, of course, we can add some fun decorations to our bot if we so choose so. So what we want to do is come in here, and we are going to just put down a nice wedge. Alright, that looks good to me. Let's go out and test it. Alright, that looks pretty good. We are getting caught. It feels a lot slower, the turning especially, so we're going to bring this up just a little bit. And it feels great now. It feels great now. Okay. There we go. We got our first little wedge on a robot. So let's just say we want to wedge something up. We can scoop underneath it now. And we won't get flipped as easily as well, because we have that little front grasp. Also need to add a protector barrier right here. So let's go to shapes, and they might actually just have something to throw on right here. Just like that. That looks good. So that's protecting that right there. And it looks like that looks perfect, actually. I don't see any sort of problems right there. So let's actually go to materials, make this steel for now, and then we'll make this green. And it has a nice little shimmer on it. That looks beautiful. So from there, we're going to want to add that part so it looks like it's connected to the chassis, because that's not good. That doesn't look good how it is right there. We need it to look like it can actually function and not just hover over our robot. So we're going to go back into custom shapes and create something for that. Alright, so from here, give our robot a little test. It looks clean. It looks clean. This robot looks awesome. All we need to do is just add some detail, which I am going to be doing in a different episode. We have pretty much made our robot halfway through from what we needed to do. So there's so much more to do with this robot, but it's all decoration, and we don't really need to stand in here doing that this whole time. So from here, I'm going to end this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We're going to be doing a different style of robot in the next episode, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. Leave a comment down, comment, do whatever you want. I don't require much. If you like this video, let me know in the comments below. If you hated this video, let me know in the comments below. I want to do anything to help improve the quality of this channel, and you guys as a whole are the only way to do that. So if you guys like this video, hit the subscribe button, because there will be much more content similar to this. Other than that, guys, I hope you'd enjoy it. This was my first channel as RoboMania, the channel. I will see you guys later. Have a good one.